Okay, welcome to number 2 of this video series. In this video we are going to look at building hills into our racing game, and if we've got time we will look at some ramps. So, the first thing we need to do is we select terrain, we go over to the inspector, and we want paint height. It's the second one here, not raise or lower height, because if you raise or lower height, what you find is it goes up very quickly. So we're going to paint height, we're going to select a brush size. Yeah, I like that brush size. We're then going to select at what height is the maximum. So I'm going to start with 50, and I'm going to do my corners. I'll increase my brush size a bit. Because I want to give my game the look of mountains in the background. Notice how it smooths off at height 50. This is why we use, this is why we use this rather than shift height. Oh, sorry, raise or lower height. So now that I've done my 250s at this end, I'm going to do a 35. And this is going to just slightly overlap, so I'm going to put my brush size down. And I want to overlap a little bit with the 50. Now the reason for this overlap will soon be made clear, because we're going to smooth it off into one hill. I'm now going to do 25, and again I'm going to do a slight overlap. Making sure to leave no gaps. And then a 15. Now I have avoided my track there because I want this to be the hills around it. If I wanted to put a hill into my track, I would just do the same thing that I'm doing here. So at the moment it's made very much level terraces. So if we go in for a closer inspection, this is our hill at the moment. Now it's not looking very natural at the moment, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to smooth height, pick the biggest brush size, and then we're just going to scribble over this. And what it's going to do is it's going to soften up the land, soften up those cliffs of ours into one big hill. Just over the top, like an eraser, and the more you do it, the softer it's going to get. So if we look down here, here is our hill that we have softened. Here's the hill that we have not softened. See the difference? Oops, that was in the wrong option there. Now if you ever do make a mistake, Control Z or File Undo, Edit Undo, is a lot of help, and you do end up using it quite a bit. So I'm just going to finish moving off my hills here. Okay, so while I paused the video there, I just moved off the hill. One thing I had forgotten to do is I was using a small brush size. It was still at 100%, but it was a small brush. By using a big brush, that 100% is much bigger, and the rest of that hill took me about the same time as this one corner. So now let's zoom in and have a look at our rolling hill. So there is our hill. Nice and smooth, quite realistic. I could do a sharp cliff at the edge if I wanted to make it an edge that you couldn't go over, because that would be the easiest way to stop them running completely off the track. But if I wanted to put a terrain next door to increase the size of the terrain, I can make a hill jump there. Or I could put a hill inside my terrain somewhere on my track. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, what I need to do is I need to add, in the next video I'm going to be adding on a car and then looking at putting in ramps.